This is your episode, Aaron.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yes, indeed.
I didn't realize.
I have
It's
something.
been so long.
though.
We have
Oh
something.
no! If you want to clap us in, we'll
Can
get
we? Yeah,
started.
let's clap.
and then I
Let's
have
clap
something.
ourselves in, and we'll get started. And then Hans has something. Okay, ready?
Hot dogs for the road. This is exactly what the nerds want.
A friend got burned.
Welcome to M. Night Shyamalan. I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
I'm Hans.
This is the big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about The Sixth Sense, and Hans has something for us.
Hans has something.
Oh, this is. I didn't realize you were gonna open it this way. This has absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
Great. Cool.
When I say I had something, it's something entirely unrelated. No, so
Go for it.
so like
Most
right
of
before-
every episode we've ever recorded is unrelated.
Okay, no, so just I need you both to hear this because this was phenomenal. So we were hanging out playing video games as we do. Aaron, you were busy at the time. Zach, you were just doing your own thing because you never joined us to play video games. But we were talking about the new Knives Out movie, which I still haven't seen. Have either of you?
So
Aaron has.
good. Yes.
Okay,
He
so,
said he's going to write it for his essay this season.
Oh,
I
that's
had a
right,
priest
that's
movie
right.
night.
Right.
6 priests got together and made dinner. And we
I was
watched
so
this movie
jealous. I
together.
would love to watch the new Knives Out with a bunch of priests. That'd be amazing.
Well, okay, so Mark and Isabel were talking about it, and Mark was talking about how it's much more religious than expected, and probably
Yes,
not
yeah.
how Catholicism works, and how.
It's pretty close.
Oh, okay. Well, he was really interested. He wanted to hear a priest perspective. He
Yeah.
said it would actually be
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
interesting to have a full-blown podcast analyzing a priest perspective on film.
Okay.
We were talking about how this is just like, this is Aaron. Like, this is just Aaron.
Yeah.
And Mark goes, and I quote, "No offense to Zach, but I think Aaron is the bigger cinephile."
That's so rude. You know what? Numbers to back me up.
That was
here.
such a rush.
I have quantitative data to back up that is false.
And I have qualitative data that I'm over the moon right now.
I can't argue with that. I mean, you got your data, you got your results.
Everybody was pretty happy about that statement.
My cinephile can beat up your cinephile any day.
Anyway, that's all I had. That's really all it was. I just had
Okay,
to
great.
make sure you heard that. That was the first thing that we talked about.
So glad we heard that.
Awesome. Look forward to my season 2 overwrought essay about Wake Up Dead Man and Conclave, the 2 big Catholic movies of 2025. And how the one that's like explicitly about the church, less churchy than the one that's not.
Conclave came out in 2024. If you were a true
was
cinephile, you would have
2024.
seen it the year it came out instead of catching it the year later.
I caught it a year later.
Because I watched, pushing up my glasses, I watched Conclave and then read the book it was based on and told Aaron that he needed to watch it.
Whereas I watched both of those movies in 2025, so for me, they're 2025 movies.
That is, again,
Anyway.
can't argue with the data.
Anyway,
The Sixth Sense.
We're not talking about either of those movies. We're talking about The Sixth Sense. And The Sixth Sense, I think I have solidified my thesis on the Shyamalan.
I solidified like 5 different thesi during the watching of this
There-
movie.
I think every movie, I say it's some sort of
Yeah.
definitive
Yeah.
take on Shyamalan.
A crux, a nexus, a Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, this is the
we've been a
fulcrum.
little unbearable. We've used fulcrum already.
Dang it. I'll have to use some other
Synonyms.
metaphor to explain what this movie is. I'm going to go really, really quickly through a plot recap. Spoilers for the most spoiled movie.
Of all
Ever.
time, maybe?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was certainly an experience going into this movie, having never seen it before, but also knowing exactly what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're professionals. We're really getting here on time.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
I just need all the characters' names because they... Okay. I'm good now.
You can just say Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment and Toni Collette. Like, we've done that 100 times. Like, no one's going to judge you.
Thank you. Almost literally 100 times. We haven't done 100 episodes yet, but we're getting close.
Well, we've probably in one episode done that 100 times by itself. Just Steven Seagal does this, and then Steven Seagal does this, and Steven Seagal does this. We didn't use a single character name that whole season.
These are like real movies. In the Seagal movies, that was just a bad habit because who cares about all the different Seagal characters? They're all Seagal.
But we do care about Malcolm Crowe and Cole Sear, even though that is Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment on screen.
Yes.
It is Bruce
So
Willis
let's
and Haley
go.
Joel Osment.
Aaron.
Okay, so in this movie, set in Philadelphia, of course,
Yep.
Bruce Willis plays a child psychologist who receives an award from the city of Philadelphia for being such a good child psychologist. On the night that he and his wife are celebrating this award, that she feels has caused some tension in their marriage, but she's happy that he's finally achieved like his life dream. He feels like a recognized scientist and person who helps people, who helps young people. One of his early patients breaks into their home, complaining against him that Bruce Willis did not actually help him solve his
You made it
problems.
so far in using the characters until you hit the actor names.
Yeah, whoops.
Just keep rolling. Just go.
Just keep rolling. Breaks in and is mad at Bruce Willis for not having actually cured him as a child. He's a grown man now. And shoots Bruce Willis and then himself. We then have a time skip. And Bruce Willis is working to help Cole Sear, played by Haley Joel Osment, who's a young child at this time, about age 9, who is very similar to the patient who killed, oopsie daisy, spoilers, Bruce Willis.
Who shot
Ruined it already. Right
Aaron,
away.
What?
Couldn't even keep it together for more than 10 minutes.
No, he was dead. But he's
dead
on
the whole
screen.
time. Bruce Willis then spends the rest of the movie trying to help Haley Joel Osment, he's anxious, he's frightened all the time, there are weird things going on. He's being raised by a single mother played by Toni Collette, and they have like this strained relationship because Haley Joel Osment's keeping secrets and stuff. And at the midpoint of the movie, we get the most famous line from this movie, which is, "I see dead people." Haley Joel Osment says, "I see dead people," and reveals that he can see ghosts. And that is where all of his trauma comes from. He can see dead people who, I think this is important to what's going on here, appear to him shortly, like, they don't know that they're dead. And when they appear to him, they are doing the thing that either they were doing right before they died or that led to their death. So they are in the midst of their trauma of dying when they appear to Haley Joel Osment and have some sort of unfinished business in this world. And so Bruce Willis like struggles with, is this true? Like, can he really see dead people? I don't know. I have to investigate it. He eventually comes to believe Haley Joel Osment and counsels him on how to help the dead and help them work through their unsolved problems, their unfinished business, so that they can move on to the next world. He eventually becomes comfortable in himself, and it is revealed that Bruce Willis was one of those who was dead the whole time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Finally confesses his love to his wife and is able to move on to the next world, and she can move on with her earthly life. And that's the movie. It marketed as a thriller. I cried. It was much more of like a heartwarming drama.
Wait, okay, no. Did you actually cry? I read your
didn't
Letterboxd
actually
review.
cry. I got very close. I got very close, but I didn't actually
did you
cry.
I didn't cry, but it was just a really good movie. I don't
very touching.
But I know we're not quite to that part yet, but like, I mean, shocker! One of the most famous movies of our lifetime. It's a really good movie. Actually,
It turns out it's really good,
we're
actually.
really hitting it hard here with these reviews, but it was like, again, the perspective of someone having heard about it my entire life. I know exactly what happens throughout the entire movie. But I've never seen any of this movie, not even like on TV. It's a really good movie.
It's really good. You should definitely watch it.
The reason I just asked is because I read in Aaron's Letterboxd review, he said nearly brought a tear to my eye. And so I watched this with my wife. Sarah and I watched this, and we get to the end. We are both crying. We're grabbing for the tissues. Like, we're both going through it. So then today I'm just sitting there and I see Aaron posts his review, nearly cried. And I'm just like, look at Mr. Tough Guy over here. Needs you to know that he didn't. He almost cried, but he didn't cry. Mr. Big Guy over here. Look at him.
I very nearly cried. I came
No,
very,
this was
very,
a
very
tearjerker.
close.
This I was feeling it in the throat. I was choking up. Yeah. No, and that's the same exact same thing, Hans. That we finished it, and I'm just like, oh, it turns out the movie everyone says is really good and is famous for being really good is really good. Who would have thought it? Crazy.
It also answers our core question because obviously we know that this one has a twist, right? Like this is where that started.
I want to dig into the twist though. I think so I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I think we need to discuss as part of this. That's an essential part of this. And it's that so we knew that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. That was spoiled for me when I was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
I've known that my entire life somehow. I don't know where I learned it. It's just been in the air. When is the audience in this movie supposed to know that Bruce Willis is dead? Because I thought it was at the midpoint of the movie when I'm watching this.
Okay, see, because
when Haley Joel Osment says, "I see dead people," I'm like, oh, okay. There's enough evidence here that the audience should definitely know that Bruce Willis is one of the dead people. And I'm pretty sure Haley Joel Osment says it almost explicitly in that scene. And just Bruce Willis finds out at the end of the movie that he's dead. But the audience should have known.
I would not. I would wager the average audience member did not know until the end. I don't think most people in that theater would have figured out when Haley Joel Osment says, "I see dead people."
I was gonna say it's so tough to reflect on that, given everything. It's really, really difficult. It is. I would say that's one of those things where if you were watching it in the theater, that's where you're leaning over your buddy and giving him the elbow, saying, "Oh, wait, I bet he's been dead the whole time." And at the end of the movie, you're all vindicated, and you're like, "Yeah, I knew it." But like that's still the twist. Like I bet you that most people, well, I shouldn't even say most people. There was probably a lot of people that found out in the middle of the movie and then they were vindicated in the end, and then there were a lot of people in the end of the movie that were like, "Oh my god," and it was still equally as rewarding.
Yeah,
so I was almost. I think. Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say while we were watching, it was almost like mourning the fact of how spoiled this movie is. Like I feel bad. Yes. Like, anyone listening to this podcast, you know how it ends. But we got like 30 minutes in, and I said something to Sarah like, "I'm so upset." Because this is good. It's not like a movie that once you know the twist, there are movies that if you know the twist, then there's no point watching.
I know the twist. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed it, but I was so upset because we finished it. And I'm like, this is a movie that if I watched without knowing the twist, I would put it back on and just watch it a second time back to back. Like now having known the twist to see how I watched the opening scenes differently and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because even if you figure out the midpoint, then oh, well, we go back and, when he's at the dinner, she's not angry and ignoring him. You know,
she's sad.
It recontextualizes the way his wife acts and the way, the kid acts and everything. Yeah. So I was so upset that it's impossible. It's the same thing with Blair Witch Projects. Mm-hmm. Realistically, when the Blair Witch Project was coming out, would I truly believe that these 3 people actually straight up died while filming and they're still releasing the movie that they died making? Or would I just see through it as a marketing stunt? You can guess at what you'd figure out, but you can't watch it in the same environment of having that out there. People went to Blair Witch Project thinking this was a documentary and these people died. Oh. And you just can't watch it with that same shock value. It's the same here. I'm just so sad that it's so annoying that the twist becoming such a discussion. It really flattens the movie. You don't hear about any of the other 95% of the movie. You only hear about the twist when there's a lot of other good stuff to talk about. And it takes away that so this is I'm making a resolution that when we have our kid, I'm going to make our kid watch The Sixth Sense when they're 4 years old because I need to make sure that they watch it before they know at a very inappropriate age. This is a bit heavy for a kid that young, but I'm going to make them watch it and they're going to be like, "What the?" And I'm going to be like, he needs to see it before the twist is spoiled.
See, You're going to set up a firewall, blockers on your home internet, no Sixth Sense content, no memes, no nothing. You're going to ask them every day when they come home from school, "Did you hear anything?
Did anybody mention the Sixth Sense to you?"
You're going to have during parent-teacher conferences, "I need you to not say anything about the Sixth." I know. He's really good. He's getting straight A's, 1B. I don't care. Don't talk about the Sixth Sense with my kid.
Don't let anyone in that class talk about this movie. No, he's gonna watch it. I would say
wait until he's at least 9. He's the same age as
watch The Sixth Sense at age 6.
The kid.
Yeah, there you go. It's nice.
Okay, sure.
But twist.
But the reason I'm thinking of it the twist being at that point is because at that point, it's almost the exact midpoint of the movie. We get the "I see dead people" line. That becomes the new normal for the rest of the movie. Like, after that moment, which is a big moment for the kid, for Haley Joel Osment's character, who is experiencing this horrible time in his life because he's not telling anybody that secret, because he's afraid no one will believe him. Like, this is the big secret of his life that he's keeping hidden, and he's experiencing all this trauma because of it, and he feels like he can't tell anybody about it because they'll think he's crazy. And so he finally tells someone about it, and then we start seeing the ghosts that he sees. We start seeing the dead people alongside him, and that becomes the new normal. And I'm thinking, like, this is where we talk about Trap.
Yep, here it is. It's that time in the episode.
It's coming early this time around.
At the approximate midpoint of Trap,
Yes.
we catch the butcher. He admits to Salika Shyamalan, "You caught me," and that becomes the new normal for the rest of the movie. And so, like, I think I finished this movie like half an hour ago, so I haven't had a lot of time to like think about it. Maybe it's something we suss out. Is the Shyamalan twist like you get to the end of the movie and you have to reevaluate the whole thing, or is it at the midpoint there's like a twist that creates a new normal for the rest of the film? I think that's more of a signature of Shyamalan than like the big twist at the end. Zach is shaking his head.
No, I don't think so either. Now, when you say that's a signature of Shyamalan, of the movies we've seen so far, which so far is everyone except for one,
We have two.
that has appeared in, I'm trying to think on the spot here, maybe 3 of them.
I don't know, it's something I'm working through, so I could be very wrong.
Like I don't disagree. There's a really direct parallel here with Trap specifically, but in everything else that I can come up with, when you hit what is supposed to be the twist, it's in the third act. It's not.
Yeah, I agree that while watching this was the most like Trap reminiscent feelings I've had. Like, not that The Sixth Sense and Trap are the same movie. They're not the same movie at all, but I was watching, and a lot of the things I do like in Trap and a lot of the feelings I got from Trap I was getting here in a very positive way. Like, that's a congratulatory, not a defamatory way of saying it. But no, this is definitely a twist ending. Like, I think the movie does, like any good twist should, it does give you the seeds that in theory an attentive audience could figure it out beforehand. But like, I got the vibe that when he says I see dead people, like, he's setting up the way that explains the twist is like, they don't know they're dead, they only see the things that they want to see. Like, other people can't see them, but I can see them. Like, in theory, if you just list out all those things, you're like, oh, I guess all those things apply to Bruce Willis. Like, no one seems to really acknowledge him. But it's in the same way that if you're watching, like, Fight Club, the way, like, oh, if you notice the phone booth he's in doesn't take incoming calls, you figure out they're both the same spoiler alert for Fight Club, they're both the same person. That, like, it does give you the hints throughout, but then at the end it's just like, hey, here's the deal. And this very much at the end, in like the last 5 minutes, is like, hey, here's the deal. I would say it's a twist ending, and though I imagine we'll talk about this a lot in the wrap-up episode, most of Shyamalan's movies don't have a twist ending. It's like not correct at all to label him as the twist ending guy.
No, it's just that he has that moniker.
This
from
is a twist ending, and this is
era.
what got him known for twist endings, because he did this.
Yeah.
He did Unbreakable. Oh, the guy is a villain at the end. That's a twist ending.
No, the guy's a villain at the end. Freeze frame.
That's what they should have done.
No, that's what they.
No, because they didn't do free.
I'm
Because
still
they
upset about
did
that.
fade out to text on. He's in a psychiatric ward now. They
Based
should have
on a
done.
true story.
You are unbreakable. Freeze. End.
Okay. Oh, okay, but you know
Freeze
what?
on the comic panel.
Anyway.
So
Anyway.
or just full on make it like a comic book cover. Anyway, so I think that it's a twist ending. It's not a twist midpoint to be a Shyamalan twist, and I think this is a twist ending. And again, like I'm saying, when you watch knowing the twist, you figure it out well before the midpoint. Figure it out, quote unquote. I still think that, like Han said, you would definitely have a good amount of people in the audience leaning over to his buddy like, hey, I bet Bruce Willis is dead. I didn't get the vibe that the movie is explicitly telling you Bruce Willis is dead at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, like we said at the beginning, a big part of this is just like, I know from before the movie begins that Bruce
Really
Willis
hard
is
to
dead.
have a critical analysis when you already know all the answers.
At least a critical analysis on the twist itself.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching this with that foreknowledge, and at the midpoint, the I see dead people scene, like my first reaction was, oh, okay, the twist that Bruce Willis is dead comes for the audience here, and then for the character at the end.
Yeah.
And so that was how I read it, but that's also colored by the fact that I already knew that.
See, when I got to the I See Dead People scene, it's like I forget what's happening exactly. Oh, he's in like the kid's in the hospital. It was like a really like well acted and really tense scene there. Like I feel it, like, you know, this kind of like tension in my chest. Like it was very effectively done. And then he goes like, "I see dead people," and then immediately, like within half a second, I'm like turning to my wife and like pointing at the screen and like soy facing, like, "He said the thing. He said the thing. Hey, he said the thing."
That scene specifically, I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, M. Night is a really good writer and director.
It turns out he had the sauce.
Going in reverse was a mistake.
No, it's awesome.
No, it's great. No, because now we get to watch. Next, we get to watch his like low budget movie you never heard of. Then we get to watch his student film, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there for Patreon, we're gonna watch Stuart Little. I think we're gonna watch
Yes,
Little Mouse.
please.
Oh,
I
God.
need to watch Stuart Little.
So no, I
I need
think
to watch
it's
Stuart Little.
no one else. Okay, but Hans, how many podcasts have watched every M. Night Shyamalan movie? Probably like 100 at least. How many have
I
watched
was
it
going to say, I have no
backwards?
idea. We did that research. We did that market research when we started the Steven Seagal project,
Yeah.
and there were very few, and none who made it the whole way through.
Shyamalan,
We're the
has
only
like
ones.
movies you can. I guarantee other podcasts have made their way through Shyamalan,
Yeah, it wasn't that many.
Yeah.
but I don't think
No.
any have watched it backwards.
That's our gimmick.
That's our twist.
That's our gimmick. We watched them backwards.
Yeah.
Pretty bad gimmick, but
So
Yeah, but like I'm watching this movie. Well, that scene also is Bruce Willis just looking at another character and explaining how he feels. He's doing it in the form of a bedtime story.
yes.
But he's just explaining to a character / the audience exactly what he feels and thinks about the situation.
okay,
But it
because-
works so well.
Because the whole time I'm watching this movie, like that's sticking out to me is how much like people would say like M. Night Shyamalan dialogue or M. Night Shyamalan writing as like an insult.
Yeah.
This whole movie, start to finish, is M. Night Shyamalan dialogue. It
Yes.
just works.
just
Yeah.
All
works.
of it just works. And so that it's like the razor thin margin between like, you know, genius and madman. Because like even at the very beginning, the first time that this stuck out to me was when he sorry, I just transitioned us into M. Night Shyamalan's fingerprints.
No,
But,
that's
like,
fine.
the
That's
writing.
good.
But like when Bruce Willis shows up at the kid's house, like their first like session or whatever, and he's like, "We're gonna play a game. I'm a mind reader. If I can read your mind
that was so
successfully."
good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was so locked in. I loved it so much because I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, no, you don't understand. He constructed a way where he can just like explain exactly what he thinks about
Okay.
the kid, and then
Hold on.
as the kid gets closer to him, he literally physically gets closer to him. But you can see how precarious
Yes.
it is because then the kid starts moving away. I'm just like, it's genius. He's
Right.
using not
Okay.
just the dialogue but also the staging and the mise en scène to like communicate
Yes.
this. But it's all Shyamalan dialogue. It is 100%
Yes.
tell you
It's
what I'm
people
thinking,
just
tell you what I'm feeling. Shyamalan
literally
dialogue, and it works so
Zach,
well.
Looking directly into the
Zach.
camera and just talking about how you feel about stuff.
Aaron.
And it's genius.
Okay, Zach, you just that was like one of the worst Zachisms I think I've ever experienced because you started to explain what happened in the movie for like
Doesn't matter.
a
Watch the
second and a
movie.
half, and then
Watch the
you
movie.
cut yourself off to
Watch the
talk about
movie.
how amazing it was, and
Watch
oh my
the
god,
movie.
it just blew me away.
You'll know when you get to that scene. Watch the movie.
It's brilliant.
No,
Just
so
a
he
clear
uses
explanation of what the
Shyamalan-
rules were of that game, because you were so close. You were so close. You
Doesn't-
you
don't
only had
matter.
like
Watch
3
the
more
movie.
words to say.
I don't want to spoil it. There's parts of
Oh
this
my
movie.
God.
There's good parts
So
of this
much-
movie that have not been spoiled. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Zach.
Now, I'm happy that going into this movie, the only thing that was spoiled
Yes.
about the movie was that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Because the other
Nothing else about the movie had
95%
been
is really
spoiled for
good,
me.
and it's not spoiled for you. I
Okay,
guarantee
but-
nobody
well,
has
this is-
spoiled
you
the
have to
scene where
understand
Tony
the
Collette
context.
finds the
This is a
cuts on him at the
movie
party, and she
review.
calls the parents, and she's like, "I want you to keep your hands off my kid." I guarantee no one spoiled that scene for you, and it's so good.
No one did, and it is so good. But this is a movie review podcast. If you were listening to this,
Yeah,
you
it's a movie review, not a movie
inherently
summary
spoiling
podcast.
it for you. You
I'm
can't
reviewing it,
launch
I'm not
into
summarizing
something,
it.
not explain it, and then react to it.
Okay,
It
because
doesn't
Hans,
work that way.
A movie summary podcast is here's what happened. A movie review podcast is this movie was awesome. This was awesome. I'm doing the review. I'm a
Fine.
reviewer.
Fine, keep going.
But there is the first scene where they meet is all Shyamalan
yeah.
dialogue, and it's great.
Yes.
The I See Dead People scene, it's all Shyamalan dialogue, and it's great. The whole movie is so much Shyamalan dialogue. This isn't like his writing changed. This isn't like he's doing something different.
No.
He's doing the same thing. It just works.
The very opening scene was Bruce Willis's wife, played by Olivia Williams, reading a plaque commemorating his career and just explaining who he is.
She literally says, "I'm gonna read it to you."
Yeah,
No, that
And then
scene it
reads
is
it to him.
so Shyamalan dialogue coded.
but it also is like, okay, so we have talked in previous, or at least I've talked in previous episodes about how Shyamalan will find a way, some sort of gimmick or some sort of contrived circumstance to get his characters to just look into the camera and explain what they're thinking, who they are, how they feel about stuff, what their motivations are. And in this movie, he figures out every single contrived instance and situation that would allow that, and they all work.
So here's
I'm going to read you this award plaque that we're just gushing over the fact that you've made this great career achievement. I'm going to read the whole thing to you, and it's very romantic, and it leads to like this great moment. I'm going to do psychology on this child and explain how they're feeling to themselves, and then they can confirm or deny how they're feeling about things.
Okay, so
It's
here's
so
something
good.
here's something I'm going to propose though, and this,
Yeah.
if you were trying to craft a theory and you really only had like 2 or 3 examples, I'm going to craft a theory where I only have 1 example. So it's not a great theory, but I feel like at least for
Okay.
this one, for The Sixth Sense, a huge part of it, for me personally at least, is that the Shyamalan dialogue is also tied into like the Shyamalan character like actions and movement and staging and framing.
Yeah.
Because notably, actually, for most of these, for a lot of these really good ones, it's not a character looking directly into the camera and saying how they're feeling. It's
Yeah.
like we described. It's that scene where it's these 2 characters talking, and he is using this game. He's constructing this game that gives a situation where the physical proximity of the characters shows you their relationship.
Yes.
And I feel like similarly, when she's reading that award, you're not sitting watching her face read the award. You're seeing the 2 of them like cuddling with each other in the reflection. It's like a silver. So it's like a mirrored
Yes.
award that's seen it. Like, I feel like a big part of it is effectively using staging, framing, character placement, mise en scène in concert with the dialogue.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to go back and watch now with this in mind. Like, does he do that in Unbreakable or not? But I feel like in Unbreakable, it didn't feel as much Shyamalan dialogue-y. So maybe in Trap, it's a thing.
He did do not as intense here as in his later movies, but he did do the thing where he gets like right up in the characters' faces.
Yes.
But he'll frame it in clever ways. I
Yes.
think specifically, Olivia Williams, who plays Bruce Willis's wife in this, she has like an antique store, which doesn't come into the story as much as I thought it would.
No, yeah, really only once or twice, yeah.
Especially because in this scene, there's a guy who's trying to buy an engagement ring for
No, that scene was so
his
funny.
fiance.
Also
and they're buying
Shyamalan
it
dialogue.
together.
It's so funny.
Yeah, also Shyamalan dialogue. And they're buying it together, and the camera is like in the display case.
Yes.
And all 3 of their heads are like up against the glass looking at this.
Yeah, Sarah
antique
commented on that
ring.
because they're really all scrunched in there. They're like temples are touching.
Yeah. They're all in like kissing distance and just like looking at this ring and talking about it together. And Olivia Williams talks about how old objects like leave the imprint of their owners, and there's like something left of them around. And it was like very on theme for the movie. And that whole scene, it was a really long
Yeah.
scene. It felt like scenes from Unbreakable. We'd have like a really long moment. The camera doesn't move.
Yeah,
It's
just all framed from
dialogue.
that same place.
But
Yeah.
like she talks about that ring the way Mr. Glass would talk about like comic book heroes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of Unbreakable vibes.
Yeah. No, definitely. And
Yeah.
I would agree, though, it is interesting that they give that scene like 5 or 7 minutes of screen time of just like it is
Yeah.
a static shot of these characters talking, and she's convincing this couple, the wife's already, the fiance is already convinced the fiance needs
Oh,
convincing.
she wants this ring.
She wants the ring, convincing the guy, hey, you got to buy this ring for your future wife.
Yeah.
And like she does,
Yeah.
it does like it loosely. I don't know. Maybe on a rewatch it would be a bit more direct, but I was kind of waiting for a bit more of how these traces of people left behind like connects in the movie. Like I don't hate it. I wouldn't say get rid of the scene. It was good, but yeah, it is interesting that it comes up there, and then it comes up when Bruce Willis is mad that this other guy's moving in on his wife. And that's really the
Yeah.
only time the antique store comes up.
And she, Olivia Williams, is actually the first character you see on screen.
Yes.
She goes down into their basement to get a bottle of wine. They have like a wine cellar.
No, their basement
Which
is
is
so
awesome.
vibes. It is so
It's
goals.
fantastic.
The like wine cellar
I
vibes
was
is
getting
amazing.
like cask of Amontillado vibes down in that basement. But she goes downstairs to get a bottle of wine, and she comments on how it's cold and how the house is getting cold. And then later in the movie, you find out that that's that means that ghosts are around. I don't think that came up again, but the first shot of a character in this movie is like through the little hole of a shelf where you would keep a bottle of wine on this wine rack.
This is only semi-related, but in that first scene, whenever, so it's Olivia Williams when she first appears, not when she's face on. When she's face on, she looks like Olivia Williams. When she first appears, she's almost like a 3/4 like view, or like almost like a side profile view. Does she kind of give you like Liv Tyler vibes when she first appears, or is that just
a little bit? Yeah.
I was watching. I'm just like, is that Liv Tyler? I was so confused for a second, but
is that Arwen?
Were you actually?
And then I'm like, oh, it's not. But like for the first second, I'm just like, I don't know, Liv Tyler's in this. But yeah, no, there is, and we've commented positively on the camera work before. This isn't like the only one that has good camera work. I do think this is the most you see it aid and collaborate with his writing. You see it to work like hand in hand. So you see why, like, he, not just a good writer and a good director, but like he is a very talented writer director here. Like I feel like those scenes were written with the directing in mind. And
once again, brilliant child actor.
Fantastic, like one of the best child actors.
He can just get great performances out of child actors.
No, it's like one of the earliest scenes when Haley Joel Osment goes off to school and the other kid's like, hey, let's go, buddy. And then as soon as they leave his mom's sight, the kid's like, all right, screw you, loser. Like, did you enjoy the act? You suck. And he's sitting there. He's standing outside the school. All the other kids go in, and Haley Joel Osment is alone, and he's wearing this this hat that's like 5 sizes too big for him, and he's like clutching his like messenger bag to him. And I was ready to start crying. This kid was so gosh darn cute. I was ready to start crying right then and there. Like I was like, oh my gosh, you can't be getting me this hard already. Like it's just fantastic, like beginning to end.
It was really, really good.
It was so good.
I have one critique.
You have one critique? I have.
There was one single thing about this movie that I did not care for.
Okay.
Throughout the entire thing, we've talked about camera work, we've talked about writing, we've talked about directing, we've talked about all of it and how it all like works really, really well together through the whole thing. And it does. Every scene transition, you go from one place to the next place. It either advances in time or advances in place, right? At the very end of the movie, after Bruce Willis has this realization that, oh, I'm dead, and there's a series of flashbacks and reaction shots of him like stumbling around his house, realizing that like this door that he was trying to open, there's actually a whole bunch of stuff in front of it, and you get a flashback to Cole earlier saying like they only see what they want to see, that kind of thing, and he realizes that he didn't notice this before, on and on and on. That cuts to him sitting on the couch in front of his wife who's asleep, and he's like talking to her, basically saying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, I want you to move on with your life, and I guess I've wrapped up my business, so I'm gonna move on with mine.
I'm gonna skedaddle.
And skedaddle, yeah. And that transition felt rushed. It didn't feel like the rest of the movie. You have this really like intricate series of flashbacks and realization from Bruce Willis's character, and then it just sort of like, yep, no, we got to wrap this up. And I thought that was a little out of place from the rest of the movie that was so fantastic.
I think that's kind of one of the weaknesses of Shyamalan, is like the last 30 seconds of his movie.
Except Trap.
Except Trap's pretty good. Although Trap has like, the ending of Trap is kind of an option that you can pick from a multiple choice list for how to end a movie.
It's like,
character
okay, movie,
looks into camera and smiles as if he just got away.
Yeah.
Like that feels like a canned response.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. It works.
So it's just interesting that for you, almost your critique of Shyamalan, I agree with what you're saying, Aaron, that this is a common problem, but it almost feels like, in a way, the exact opposite problem that you typically hear. Like, you don't typically, when someone complains about Shyamalan, is like, oh, the character didn't talk enough about his emotions, and he was like too brief and effective in communicating his ideas. That's not typically the critique. So he didn't talk enough about how he was feeling directly to another character. He wrapped it up too quick.
I think in a number of these movies, we're just not quite sure how to wrap it up, how to end. That's what we talked about in Unbreakable, was we end on this freeze frame. Mr. Glass was sent away to a psychiatric prison.
Okay,
and
that was weak sauce. That was so funny.
That was not the correct choice.
No. But we had, well, at least you two definitely had ideas for how you could have ended that better that we've already talked about in this episode too. I don't have any ideas for how you could have ended this better. I just know that it didn't feel right.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if you could end it better, like, because for me, I'm not going to say disagree, but for me,
I say end it better, but just make the flow feel more
Yeah.
natural.
I do agree.
So
There's
this
kind
felt. We just got back from the holidays. I spent 2 weeks with my family, which was fantastic, by the way. But I watched a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies,
Nice.
and I can tell you that this ending feels a lot like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
I'm so upset.
Just weird.
I'm so upset you don't keep your letterbox updated because I want a log of all the Hallmark Christmas movies that you watch. That's what letterbox is for. I want to see you post. If you posted every Hallmark movie that you watched on Letterboxd and gave it like a 2-star review and left like even just like a 1-sentence review, I'd be in there like 10 seconds after it posted, like giving it a like, giving it a comment, like I would be on it. For me, I thought the ending was quite effective, quite emotional. Like we were crying, like it really got me. I do see where you're coming from. Like there was a bit of a weird realization, cut to flashback, cut to confession ending. Like there was definitely a bit of a flow issue, but I don't have like he should have talked about his emotions more and it would be better. Like I don't necessarily have a fix.
So
yeah, neither do I.
My problem with the ending scene was that the scene right before it was way better. The scene where his Osment admits to his mom that he
was fantastic.
people
So
and proves
what
it.
if they
That's
switch-
the scene that
so
like
what if
got
they
me
switch
almost
the order?
crying. I thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought about that as a possibility, and I think it would work better. I think you still have to change some things about the Bruce Willis realizing he's dead scene. I still think you'd have to change something about that. But I do think it should have ended on Cole admitting to his mom that he can see dead people, and then proving it with the... So at the end of in this scene, Haley Joel Osment proves to his mom that he can see dead people because he has talked to his grandma, her mother, and they have like unresolved issues. Her mother died, and she believes that like they had this bad relationship, when in fact from the grandma's perspective, like she still loved her, and the only unresolved thing about it is that she didn't get the chance to like prove that as far as the grandma's concerned, they left on good terms, but from mom's perspective they didn't. And so Cole, little boy, was able to give closure to that, and that was a really powerful scene, and I loved it. And that gave closure to his character. That was like the end of his character's arc and his completion as a character. And then we went to Bruce Willis and did his completion as a character. I think if you switch them, you'd still have to change some stuff about the Bruce Willis scene, but I think it would have been more powerfully ended on if you ended on the Cole scene. Yes, Zachary, you have your hand raised.
I'm gonna theorize. I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I think
Go for it.
I think that's just if the first time you're watching it, you know about the Bruce Willis twist.
That is also part of it. I did think about that.
So I think there needs to be a version
Do we
of the
need to
movie.
end
If you
on
don't know about the twist, you watch. It's the scene
No.
with him and his mom, and
No.
then Bruce Willis, and then there's an alternative. There's a B
No.
cut. If you do know the Bruce Willis twist, Bruce Willis, and then end with the kid and his mom. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they did a cut, because like Bruce Willis is on the poster, but like Haley Joel Osment is like the main character. Like I do feel like they probably tested a version where you have Bruce Willis goes home, because if you aren't expecting there's going to be a big reveal here, like maybe he's going to go home and make amends with his wife. Like if you don't know there's like a big twist or whatever, he's going to be like, hey, I finally got through it. Like now we can reconnect. And that, because my guess is they cut this movie, and then the 1999 audiences, their beans got too freaked by Bruce Willis being dead at the end. They couldn't even process this whole conversation. They're like, oh, what? Now the kid and his mom are stuck in traffic? I'm supposed to care about this? Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time. I'm thinking about the Bruce Willis ghost.
Well,
so they end with the bigger, not the more satisfying conclusion, but the bigger conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the kid and his mom being stuck in traffic was just much more of an emotional scene. In large part because you spend more time with both of them together throughout the movie.
Yes.
Because
I mean, you explicitly can't spend more time with Bruce Willis and his wife together in a movie because they're not together.
Yeah.
It would only
he
be
dies
obvious.
5 minutes in, and so whenever they quote unquote interact, they're not actually interacting. He's just like commenting on what's going on with her, and so I felt less of their relationship than I felt the relationship between Cole and his mom.
Well, because the whole movie is the relationship of Cole and his mom. Like,
yeah. And so it felt like that should be the closing of this movie, because that's the emotional center of the film. There's this thing about Bruce Willis being kind of emotionally estranged from his wife, even though they're still, as far as he knows, living together. And they're still together and still married, and he still loves her. He thinks that she might be cheating on him. The emotional center of the movie is definitely Haley Joel Osment and his mother.
Although
That's
one thing
the
that is
emotion
one thing I will point out, though, it is impossible to have an objective movie review because the audience is a participant in watching the film. I do agree. Like, yes, absolutely, Haley Joel Osment and Toni Collette are the emotional crux of the film. Like, it's about this kid coming to terms with who he is and this ability that he has, and his mom that doesn't understand him. Like, yeah, and like the whole movie centered around them. But when you are sitting watching this movie next to your wife, the scene where the husband has to say goodbye to his wife and she has to accept that he died, like that does get the stronger emotional response of the two. That is not an unbiased perspective, but being the only married man here, the scene of the married couple does like because you're like, what if that was us, like that does get the stronger reaction, even though that is not the main emotion.
Okay, but you're trying to throw in your experience as a married man over what we're talking about. What you're not taking into consideration is what if this were in your and Sarah's relationship 10 years down the road when you had a kid, and maybe Sarah would think
absolutely,
but think much stronger about that scene than she would about the scene with Bruce Willis and his wife.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. That's not my current situation, but I did already talk about this previously when we talked about I forget, there was a movie with a dead kid in it, and I talked about how there's going to come a point in my life when we have kids, and I'm just like not going to be able to watch the dead kid movie. I did mention this before, like how, like, no, I absolutely, when we have a kid, if like Sarah's a mom and we have, our kid is 9 and going through changes and we don't understand him, that absolutely hits harder. And you can tell that this was written like, from a person, from a guy who is a parent. But I'm not talking about every single possible interaction of every single person watching this movie at all stages of their life. I'm talking about last night, to be clear.
And I was thinking of my mom a lot watching this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my relationship with my mom. And and so like the scenes between this boy and his mom.
And Hans was thinking about Hallmark movies, apparently.
I was just thinking that the ending felt a lot like that. You're in the same building, it's the same time, nothing changes. It's just like hard cut from two people being over here and talking to two people being over here and talking, and that's like a new scene, air quotes, and it wasn't. That's what it felt like.
But it did remind. I do have a question for Aaron.
Yeah, sure.
Because you did mention your one critique of Unbreakable being the Fade to Blacks.
Yes.
This movie also makes extensive use of Fade to Blacks until the ending when it uses one fade to whites. So I want to know what you thought about the fades to black and fade to white in this movie compared to Unbreakable.
I was okay with them in this movie, and I think they were actually effective in this movie. Okay. But I think that is also because I knew that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Because we are experiencing the movie in much the same way that Bruce Willis's character is experiencing reality. So from the ghost's perspective, they move from scene to scene. So someone who
from
cares
what's
about,
important to him, what he would notice as a ghost.
And someone who cares a lot about plot holes, which I don't, one might wonder.
Script doctor doesn't care about plot holes?
You're saying you don't care about plot holes, Aaron?
Let me explain myself in a certain sense. I care about plot holes that make the plot unworkable. I don't care about plot holes that don't make the plot unworkable.
Okay.
So if you knew that Bruce Willis is dead the whole time, an insufferable person, a different kind of insufferable than I am, would wonder, why does Bruce Willis think that he is this kid's psychologist if no one hired him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? If he never had a conversation with the mother. Well, because from the ghost's perspective, and this is something that Haley Joel Osment's character talks about, from the ghost's perspective, they only perceive the things that are important to them. Their whole lives, or unlives, their existence as ghosts, is moving from scene to scene.
Yeah.
They don't experience the interim period. They just move from important moment to important moment. They only exist in decision points. They don't exist in between those decision points.
Right.
And so the fading to black and moving on to the next scene worked well for me because that's how Bruce Willis is experiencing the events of the film. He's just moving from decision point to decision point. I don't feel like I'm missing anything like I did in Unbreakable because there isn't anything to miss. That's how that character, the main, the viewpoint character, is experiencing these events. There isn't anything, but literally isn't anything between those. He just is here and then appears somewhere else, but he doesn't know that that's happening to him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even experience the lack of something. He's just moving from place to place. Yeah. And it's beyond his control. He can't choose where he goes.
I do agree where they're I wasn't sitting here looking for the plot holes, but I feel like a lot of people when watching a film do, because I think the movie, it does explain like how this quote unquote works. Like, I don't wonder, oh, how did he get this client? It's just like, oh, obviously, like he just had him as a client one day, like because he needs to accept this failure, quote unquote failure of his own that led to his own death, and like him reconciling with his wife. Like those are his issues.
Yeah.
So I wasn't saying looking for a plot hole, but I did chuckle imagining him like Ghost Bruce Willis walking into a coffee shop and trying to order like, can I get like a grande latte? And the person at the counter just completely ignoring him, like not acknowledging him. And I did picture this guy for like a whole year, just like, everyone in this city got so rude in the last year. Like, no one says
it's
hi
Philadelphia
on the street anymore.
It's fine.
That's like Aaron walking around not as a priest.
He's like, what?
Realizing
so
that general
rude.
society is actually
People
really
don't
rude.
Smile at you. The service is terrible. But no, of course, it's just that he doesn't perceive meals or anything. Like, you know, the movie.
Yeah, he doesn't ever feel a need to eat, and so it doesn't occur to him that he doesn't eat.
See, okay, because while I was watching, I did appreciate them, not for that same exact reason, not for like the metatextual, this is the way the character experiences the movie reason, but I appreciated it specifically because I'm watching, just like seeing these fades to black, and I'm like, I wonder how Aaron will feel about this. And then it gets to that at the end, it like he he, you know, whispers to his wife while she's sleeping, you know, this truth and how he accepts it and everything. And it zooms on this, like, their wedding video, and it like fades to white as he like goes to heaven. And because you have all these fades to black and then they do a fade to white, like just on a technical level, not even on like this metatextual level, it does the fade to white. And I'm just like, I don't care how Aaron feels about these. Like, I love them. Like, those fades to black were great just so you could have the fade to white at the end.
Yeah. No, it worked really well here. I don't think it worked as well in Unbreakable. I think it worked really well here.
Nice.
I think sometimes maybe, I mean, this is this is definitely something I'll have to think about before I make a definitive statement on this. But something that occurs to me now is maybe sometimes Shyamalan will reuse a technique that worked well in a different movie, but doesn't work as well in the one that he's currently making.
Yes.
The fades to black worked really well here, but they did not work as well in Unbreakable. And I don't know why he does that. That's something I'll have to think about.
Do you have a second example? I'm not disagreeing. It's just I feel like we make these assertions. We have to have at least like 2 or 3 examples to make an assertion.
This whole season has been me making wild assertions based on exactly 2 examples of something.
He does this all the time.
I've done that 3 or 4 times this season. That
Shyamalan always does this. How often? Well, twice.
Okay, he did it twice.
But he does it all the time.
I would have to think of other examples. I don't know.
I was just curious if there was like one right at the front of your mind, like, oh, he does this in Traffic.
In my defense, I said this is the thing I'll have to think about, and maybe we'll talk about it in the wrap-up episode. It's something I'm just realizing right now. All of these caveats.
Yeah,
and
I'm putting your feet to the iron, putting your feet to the fire. Figure it out. Codify your thesis right now.
No, I'm working on it.
Working on it. When your advisor's like checking in for updates, and you're like, oh yeah, really making some big progress, really. Like crack the case on this one.
I watched a whole movie today. I did make progress.
What other? So we talked about the twist ending, of course. We talked about the dialogue. And that. There was one thing that kind of confused me, and not like on like a plot level, but there was a lot of religious imagery that I felt didn't go anywhere. Wait. Okay. Because towards the beginning, the kid like runs into this cathedral, and they have this whole scene, and I was just like, oh, he literally ran into a Philadelphia cathedral. Like, Aaron is going to have something to say about this. I am so excited.
So he runs into this church in Philly. And if you look at the door, you think it's a Presbyterian church. And then he gets inside, and it's definitely a Catholic church.
Aaron, most people don't look at church doors and tell you the denomination of the church. I need you to understand the world you live in and the world the other 95% of the population lives in.
It's a bright red door. It's a bright red door.
Hey, the Lutheran church in Carlisle has a bright red door.
This is true.
So most people don't look at a church door and go, oh, Presbyterian, of course.
So Catholic churches,
you did that.
Catholic churches do not typically paint their front doors bright red. That's a Protestant thing. That's a high church Protestant thing to paint the front door bright red.
But this one is a Catholic
church.
But
anyway, this is a Catholic church. Because I was like, oh, I guess they're using this happens a lot in movies. They'll use like some sort of high church Protestant church. So that's like your really liturgical Episcopalians, your like Missouri Synod Lutherans, people like that. Their churches look like Catholic churches minus a lot of the statues and stuff, so it doesn't feel quite so Catholic. This is just a Catholic church on the inside. There's this big statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary in there, and it's Haley Joel Osment, as he's leaving, steals a statue of Jesus in the Sacred Heart.
No, I loved it. And then you find out he's done that a bunch. He has like 50.
Yeah, he's done that a lot. So this is one of the problems I had with it, is that he's done that a bunch. You find that he has like a shrine in his bedroom that he's built of all these little statues and stuff that he stole.
Right, but
it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, but it doesn't have to. That's so he's
okay. Yeah.
You find out, so in the very beginning of the movie, like one of the first times, actually it's the first time that he talks to Bruce Willis is in this church.
He's for my really nerdy friends, he's quoting the De Profundis. He's quoting Psalm 130 to himself. Yeah. Although he's modified it. The De Profundis is written in the past tense, and it's written in, I believe, the preterite tense.
Aaron, I don't know why you didn't say everyone watching this movie thought, oh, he modified that. It's typically in the past tense.
Well, he modified it to be in the present tense. So Psalm 130, I thought this was actually clever, but it didn't go anywhere, and I was bothered by it. So Psalm 130, De Profundis clamavi ad te Domine, out of the depths I have cried to you, O Lord. That's not what Haley Joel Osment is saying. He's saying De Profundis clamo ad te Domine, which is in the present tense. So not, Lord, I have called out to you from the deep, is from the deep I am calling out to you presently.
Why would you want that to go anywhere further? I think that's actually really clever for someone like you who would notice it.
Clever. I think it is clever, but like no one, for all this stuff about people looking at the camera or looking at another character and explaining how they're feeling, no one ever talks about religion.
Okay, but so we've said this before, like Shyamalan can do subtext. Mm-hmm. Like in some of the movies where we've seen where like he doesn't, and it's really obvious and really irritating. We've seen other movies where he really can. So in this movie, you have a lot of Shyamalan dialogue. You have a lot of people talking and saying exactly what they're feeling. But you also have stuff like this that in a million years I never would have noticed, but you did. And whether it was intentional or not, it works, and it's good subtext.
See, and for me, even without the subtext of truly understanding like the line of what the kid is saying in the original verse or anything, for me, like clearly this kid doesn't understand what's going on. He is seeing dead people, and
I have something for that though.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
Hans has so much stuff this episode.
He's seeing dead people, and he's scared. He doesn't understand what's going on, so he runs to this church as refuge. You don't even get an explanation of exactly how religious the family is, but he runs to this church for refuge. He takes these figures along with him when he goes home. He makes this little like blanket fort with them. And when you see he has all the figures inside the fort there, I realize that like the shape of the blanket fort looks like a little church inside his bedroom.
Yeah,
like,
he built a little church in his bedroom.
Like I didn't make a connection on that right away. But as soon as he did that, I'm like, oh, he literally constructed like a church. And for me, just this scared 9-year-old kid that doesn't understand what's going on and doesn't have an explanation for it, turning to some vague, like he doesn't like literally go to like a priest and talk through in confession or anything, but he's just like in a child's understanding, seeking religion, seeking comfort, and even bringing a small portion of that from the church into his own home because he doesn't feel safe alone in the home. He's trying to get that like safety in his home. For me, that's enough. That's where it goes, and it goes there. It doesn't get explicit with it, and I just appreciated the subtext of it. So I am surprised.
Well,
you're expecting more almost.
So that's my exact thinking, but not for the reasons, well, sort of for what the reason you said. My thinking is every time we see him in this church, he's there, well, it's at least twice in the movie. And the times that we see him in this church, he is most comfortable. He is the most at ease. He's playing with his little...
he plays with toy soldiers in the church.
He does. And he doesn't play with toys of any kind anywhere else.
Yeah.
So he's most at ease in this church. And what that tells me, they don't explicitly say it, but I don't think they need to. What that tells me is that he doesn't see ghosts in this church. Mm-hmm. He goes there to hang out. He goes there to play with toys because he doesn't see dead people there. Yeah. Whereas when he's anywhere else in the world, they're there, he says, all the time. Mm-hmm. And so he steals statues. He steals things from the church. He makes a blanket fort in his room to resemble a church because... it's not that he's like turning to religion. It's that he's saying, maybe I can bring this, like, maybe I can create my own sanctuary where this doesn't happen in my own home all the time versus not. And it doesn't work. We see that.
Right.
But it's, like it's again, it's like subtext. It's like maybe for some reason, it's just because it's a church, there are dead people can't be there. I don't know. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But the subtext of the movie is that he's most comfortable there.
Can I take that safety home?
Exactly.
I think,
and I thought that was really clever.
Now that you bring all that up, I think maybe it does work, the little church fort in his bedroom, because the only ghost that we see appear in his church fort is the first one that he helps resolve their unresolved business.
Yeah.
You're cooking there, yeah.
It's the first ghost that appears to him who doesn't mean him any harm, is not trying to like scare him, but just wants help.
It's like in the same way you have to like welcome a vampire in. Like the first ghost that's in that fort with him is the one that he's like, okay, let me try to work with it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's what ultimately leads to the resolution of his character.
I like that.
It's also in fairness though, it's also the first time he's not like, so he's freaked out by it and runs away, but then he remembers the conversation that he just had with Bruce Willis in the previous scene where Bruce Willis says maybe they're not violent, maybe they just need help. And that's when he goes back, he runs away, he goes back to his bedroom, takes the blanket off of the girl and says like, what can I do for you? And then that launches into that whole thing. So it might not be that that's the only one that came there. It might just be that that's the first time he thought, oh, maybe they don't mean me harm. Maybe they just need help.
Now that's the only one we see in the movie that is
right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just in that scene,
I don't know. As the religious guy here, I wanted more of the religious stuff.
Wow.
You didn't like that it was just sanctuary at church? Okay, maybe have sanctuary at home?
That does surprise me because we talk so much. If you subscribe to our Patreon at the Everything or the Everything Plus tier, we talk in our Patreon episode, Devil, not directed by Shyamalan, but produced by Shyamalan, how that movie is just wall-to-wall, start to finish. The entire runtime of that film is incredibly shallow, surface level, religious imagery, but it's fun. It's like not deep, but
fun.
We had fun with it. So I really thought here you see religious imagery, but it like actually ties into like, it's not shallow. It's not just, oh, he lives on 666 Locust Streets. Like I thought you were actually not like that you would like it more, but I kind of thought you'd be into it because it's using the religion as a subtext, not just as a wallpaper.
I think it was way more clever than something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. Than anything that happened in Devil. It was, I don't know, there's a lot more going on there. Like I said, changing the tense of the operative verb in the Latin translation of this psalm is really smart. Like that's really smart. And I noticed that. I thought that was really cool. I did think it was kind of lame that Bruce Willis had to like spend so much time translating that, and it was like a big revelation or something. I think actually that brings
this
up
was pre-internet,
what my problem.
Aaron.
No, well, no. So I think actually that brings up why I'm frustrated with it, because that when he's translating the De Profundis, or just the first line of the De Profundis, Psalm 130 into English, it like the camera zooms in it like it's this big revelation. And then that no one ever talks about it again. No one ever asks him, where did you hear this? It doesn't lead to another revelation about anything. Like, it doesn't really come up again in any explicit way. And in a Shyamalan movie, I'm expecting things to come up explicitly.
See, this is the thing. Because for me, the reason I think it's stronger is that it doesn't come up.
It's just a clue.
You don't have the scene where the character looks at the camera and says, hey, here's why I
it's
did
just
this.
another clue.
Yeah.
I honestly appreciate that it didn't, because it's just another piece of the puzzle that you can put together yourself. They give you those clues. They do come right out and tell you, but he also gave you the clues along the way. Like I think that was honestly good.
You had all the clues the whole time,
Yeah.
Mr. Detective. Well, this is a small thing, but that scene, because this is how, my brain, me, Zach, this won't surprise you. That scene when he's in the little fort and like it starts opening up, like, his breath is cold and like the little girl, ghost comes in there. Real strong Death Stranding
Oh my
vibes.
God.
I was watching this movie at one point and I was just like, I was like, I haven't looked it up. I haven't confirmed this. I know Hideo Kojima has seen The Sixth Sense because he put The Sixth Sense in
I heard you say it. Yeah.
Like those, that's
Oh my
a BT
God.
right there. That is Sam Porter Bridges encountering a BT. Hideo Kojima has 100. Because if we talk about another creator that watches a bunch of movies and really likes movies and takes element of those movies
It's
and puts
him.
them into his works, and it's not always as effective as it was in the original movie.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now that you say it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but real quick, Hans, before you do your favorite line, are there any other Shyamalan fingerprints? Because we talked about, the writing, the camera work, and like all those things. The twist ending, it is set in Philadelphia. It is still very funny that Shyamalan wants to do this love letter to the city he grew up in, and it's like, okay, I set my movie in Philadelphia. First scene, guy breaks into his house and shoots him. Great start. Great.
That didn't even occur to me.
Who made this movie, Hans? Like, it's so funny that Shyamalan clearly loves Philadelphia. It's his hometown. He still lives there. He sees a lot of community and family and everything there. And then every single movie he makes, he's like, Philadelphia is the bad thing happens to city. Great. Thanks. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Just a bunch of character building trauma.
Even Unbreakable, it's like I went to the place where tragedies would happen so I could find a superhero. I went to Philadelphia.
The one thing I could say is that this felt more Philadelphia than some of the other movies. Like, they're sort of tangentially, like, I'm M. Night Shyamalan, so, yeah, this movie's based in Philadelphia, but there's not really a whole lot of Philadelphia-isms about it, whereas this one, you get shots of the skyline all the time. And it's not just like not just like a passive shot of skyline and then cut to something else. It's a shot of Bruce Willis in Philly, like walking down the sidewalk.
Yes. This is a Philly movie. And then they do mention that Toni Collette's ex-husband is Pittsburgh, so hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so child actors, Philadelphia, twist ending, the camera work, the characters explaining things. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's, I guess, rather than quantifying the different Shyamalan fingerprints, this movie is like
this is all of them.
Like he's creating the fingerprints. They all trace back to here, and we're still dusting them and sending them to the boys in the lab from in the future movies, because it's got like all of them.
This is where he creates the mood of a Shyamalan film. Yeah, there's some element of this in, I think, all of his later movies.
Yeah.
You have a Wahlberg, so it has the connection to the happening. You got one of the Wahlbergs, so then boom, there we go, fingerprint for the happening at least.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that time, so he hasn't revisited that one.
No.
The guy that breaks into the house and shoots him is Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes. But I mean, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, wow, M. Night is like a real good director.
He's like really good.
That's how we started off this episode.
He's
like,
really
shocker.
good.
He's really good at it. Like,
he's very good at this.
Turns out he made one of the most like emotionally effective movies of the decade.
I'm watching this movie, and at the very beginning, before anything has happened, you're just watching the opening credits. Like, these are the opening credits of like a horror thriller thing, and then it's not that.
No, it sets it up
like
to be that way. There are a couple moments where it feels like you're about to get a real big jump scare that's going to be like horrible and horrifying. Sometimes you do get that, like when you first start to see the dead people that Cole sees, like some of them are kind of jump scare-ish, but then it's not like that. It's
no,
I don't know. It's
a spooky, heartfelt drama.
Yeah.
Yes, Zach, you have your hand raised again.
This actually goes. You can switch this around if you want, but this is very much worth mentioning. I'm just on the Wikipedia page right now. The color, just because you mentioned this, the color red is absent for most of the film, but it is used prominently in a few isolated shots for, quote, anything in the real world that has been tainted by the other world, and quotes, to connote really explosively emotional moments and situations. Examples include the door of the church where Cole seeks sanctuary, the balloon car, blah 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 blah, like a bunch of other stuff, like his tent is red, like. But okay, so the door had a reason for being red. Just if you want to put that in there, relevance. Also, it says that all of the clothes that Malcolm wears are items that he wore or touched the evening before his death, including the overcoat, his blue Roman sweatshirt, and different layers of his suit. I didn't notice that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Wait, so read that back again. You said the color red, it denotes things that have been tainted by the other world?
Tainted by the other world, and to connote really explosive emotional moments and situations. So they
the
mentioned
church is neither of those.
The balloon, the carpet, and his sweater at the birthday party, the tent where he encounters the girl, the volume numbers on Crow's tape recorder, the doorknob on the locked basement door where Malcolm's office is located. That one is very red. The shirt that Anna wears at the restaurant, Kyra's mother's dress at the wake, and the shawl wrapped around the sleeping Anna.
A lot more examples there that do make perfect sense. Yes.
I wouldn't use the adjective explosive.
Yeah.
I would say intense.
But like, to draw your...
A lot of those are very true. The door at the church is none of that, though.
I feel like that would be more the emotional.
But I wouldn't
situation,
use the word
I guess, 'cause it's
explosive.
not
Yeah, the
tainted.
scenes of the
would say,
church
like-
weren't really emotional situations. They were just
Okay,
like,
this is they're citing the producer of the film, Barry Mendel, on the Rules and Clues featurette of the Sixth Sense DVD. So you're gonna have to watch that for yourself and make up your mind. The producer of the film said this on the DVD, which I'm gonna have to pick up like a Blu-ray copy or something.
Worth
Yeah.
I
owning.
would definitely watch this
Absolutely.
again.
for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely own.
Favorite line?
Oh, so when in the very beginning, when his wife is reading off the plaque and talking about how important it is and how big of an achievement this is for him, even at the sacrifice of like his time with her, she gets done reading the plaque, looks at him like expectantly, like, "My God, I'm so proud of you," and he says, "We should hang it in the bathroom." Like he's making a big joke out of it.
He would
And
say
that was pretty good. I like that.
I liked
say
at
that,
the
Hans.
end of the movie, Haley Joel Osment gets a part in like the school play. He plays King Arthur in this school play over one kid in his class who is in like a cough syrup commercial and thinks he's going to be like a great actor one day. His name is Tommy Tomasimo, which all I could think about was Tommy Tallarico the entire.
Tommy Tallarico the whole time. I'm just like, Aaron's gonna bring up Tommy Tallarico. Did you know that this kid's mother is also very proud of him for being in that cough syrup ad, and he has the Guinness World Record for being in the most cough syrup ads?
All I
Tommy
could think about was
Tallarico.
I kept like I had to like stop myself. No, it's not Tommy Tallarico. It's Tommy Tomasimo.
It's Tommy Tallarico.
It's so Tommy Tallarico.
Tommy Tallarico would probably tell you they named that character after him because he did sound design for this movie, and then you would learn actually Joey Torres did sound design for this movie.
To all those who are listening who have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a really great 2.5 hour long YouTube video for you.
Oh, it's longer than that, baby.
But no, Tommy Tallarico he has like a side part, plays the village idiot in this play, and then after the play, Haley Joel Osment asked Bruce Willis, how did it go? Did you like it? How was it? And he says it was good. It was great. I think that Tommy really sucked big time. I thought that was really funny because it's like a callback to an earlier point in the movie where Haley Joel Osment asked Bruce Willis about a different play that they were putting on. Do you think it sucked big time? He's like, no, I thought it was okay.
He says, no, I liked it. It was better than Cats.
He's like, Cats? Never mind.
that's a really good one.
Don't worry about it.
That's
That
a
was
really good one,
What's
too.
your favorite line, Zachary?
I mean, my real answer, my favorite line is whenever Malcolm Crowe is like telling his wife, I think I can go now. I just need to do a couple things. You were always first. You weren't second, like his confession to his wife, because that's actually just effective writing. My funny line is either the sucked big time, which comes up like 2 or 3 times as this little motif. It's cute. Or when he thinks he's late to their anniversary dinner, when Bruce Willis thinks he's late to the anniversary dinner, but really his wife is like at this anniversary dinner mourning her husband who died a year ago, but he just walks in and he just goes, "Oh, I thought you meant the other Italian that I asked you to marry me in," because that's just such a good like Bruce Willis delivery. Like
he's so charming throughout this whole movie.
He's just, oh my gosh, Bruce. They should have put him in more movies, and they can't make a camera that can get close enough to his face. This movie has a lot of close-ups in Bruce Willis's face, and every single time it's a close-up on his face, I'm like, they need to invent a camera that can get even closer. I want to see those hairs. Bruce Willis is great. I love him.
Good.
Always.
So good in this movie.
He's
too.
so good. It turns out one of the best actors is like this generation.
Really good.
If you didn't know,
everyone, I don't know what happened in like the happening age in that era, but Shyamalan was able to just get really good actors for these things. Just really, really great. Toni Collette did an amazing job as Haley Joel Osment's mom. What?
She does an amazing job, but I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you had the same reaction, because I only know Toni Collette for like more of her recent stuff, like the first Knives Out and for like Midsummer and everything. I don't know like this era of Toni Collette. And when she first appears on screen as Lynn Sear, I didn't like know who. I didn't think, oh, that's Toni Collette. Obviously, like she just appears on screen, and I'm the only thing I'm thinking is just like, how can I be Mr. Lynn Sear in this situation here? Because like I did not recognize her at all, but no, she does a fantastic job. She like carries.
Actually, I don't know if this comes up much in other movies, but like a really good just wordless.
Oh my gosh, another half-baked thesis.
No, this
Aaron.
is just like a really good scene that I'm not going to relate it to other movies. I just don't know if it appears in other movies. It's something I'd have to investigate. She and her son had just had an argument in a previous scene. and like their relationship is strained. And they go to the local Acme. They're going through the parking lot, and Haley Joel Osment's sitting in the shopping cart, and she just like races a little bit, like she runs with the shopping cart, and it's a great mother-son moment. Very cute. No words. He like puts his arms out, and it's very cute, awesome, wordless scene that gave a lot to those characters. And like this is pure directing. And it's great.
Yeah.
This is awesome, and I wouldn't remove this scene from this movie for anything, even though no words were spoken, didn't move the plot along.
Doesn't advance anything,
but it gives so much about these characters, and it was awesome. That was probably like my favorite single moment from just like a single boop thing. I love that bit.
It's the kind of thing that a lot of those Hallmark movies are missing.
No heart in the Hallmark movies. A lot of heart in this psychological thriller.
I don't know if that's the issue with Hallmark movies.
I don't know. I don't
like sure, but no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that about does it for me.
Yeah, I think
this is
just a really good movie.
It's just a really good movie. Everybody should watch it. Doesn't matter
what a movie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're like us and you've known exactly what's going to happen for your entire life. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because it's just really good.
Yeah. Hey, if you think this movie has been spoiled for you because you were told like the big twist, it hasn't. It's 100% worth seeing.
Yeah.
Like just because you know the twist doesn't mean you know the movie. Like go watch it.
Yeah, we used to say on a former project, who shall not be named, who we've already talked about several times this recording, we said that we were watching them so you didn't have to. That's not the case here. Maybe with The Happening, but not this one.
I think maybe you should still see The Happening.
No, well,
just
you should see The Happening if you want to. Just
for fun of it. It's just kind of fun to look at. maybe watch that one.
You like hot dogs, right?
You like hot dogs, right?
So you guys are kind of like wrapping up.
Zach, this is almost an hour and a half. This recording.
I'm hoping to get this episode under an hour.
I'm dying to talk about. Can I bring up like a notated a Google Doc that
That's
I have?
That's fine. Aaron has to edit this one, not me. So.
Oh, great.
So while I was watching this, so we've referenced this and other people have referenced this. There's a certain news article, a certain editorial that you see referenced fairly often, but you only ever see it referenced in like the r/aged like milk. Like, you know, you just see this cursory, oh, ha ha ha, people of the past are so silly, they don't know what we know now. The next Steven Spielberg article from Newsweek.
We've talked about it before.
We've talked about it several times.
Yeah, but this is one of those things the question that Aaron wants to ask him before then asking him.
How did you feel about that?
How did you feel about that? And do you think you lived up to it or not?
Well, did you feel that you were pressured to live up to it? You know?
So we've talked about this so often, but like every single person in the 21st century, we talked about the headline without actually reading the article itself. So while watching this, the reason this comes up is because while I was watching The Sixth Sense specifically, I joked in Unbreakable that like, Unbreakable is kind of like a Steven Spielberg movie. While I was watching The Sixth Sense, I was watching this and I was like, no, this is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
This isn't this isn't a poor man Spielberg. This isn't like this is lower middle class family in the wake of a divorce goes through a family drama grounded by a supernatural situation with a kid. This is quite literally, this is Shyamalan. Signs was his Close Encounters. This was his ET. I don't know. I don't think you can.
I would put I'll do another Aaron Dead People up there with ET Phone Home. You know.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah. But it's just he literally made a Steven Spielberg movie with the Sixth Sense. So that finally motivated me. I was like, I need to find this article. We riff on the next Spielberg so often. I'm just like, but if you read the article, I had a theory. I was like, if the article is like looking at the Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and talking about these family dramas clearly influenced by Spielberg, like the article wasn't wrong. It is funny now because it implies he's going to be the next big great thing, and then he wasn't really the next big great thing. People crapped on him for a long time. So I read the article. At first I was like looking for I was like looking through to see if I could find like archives of it or whatever. Like I was trying to, really annoyingly, I went to the Newsweek website and they have archives, but they have it in a dumb way where they show like there's, you know, a new Newsweek for like every week. And it's like in their archives, you can go online and read like the cover story. You can't read the whole magazine, but the cover story. And I'm like, oh, this is great because this is the cover story. And I like scroll through the whole thing, but it's like an annoying thing where you can see like 6 of them at a time and you have to scroll down and click load more, and then scroll down and click load more, and scroll down and click load more. And so I sat and did that because you can't search for it. But that only goes back until 2015.
That's not nearly
so I
far
sat,
enough.
I just like wasted like 20 minutes doing that, and it does not go back. This article is from August 5th of 2002. And I was trying to see if like Library Archives had it or whatever, and they didn't. I was looking on eBay, and there was one copy of this used, this next Steven Spielberg cover story Newsweek article being sold on eBay. There was one listing this morning. There's not.
Did you buy it?
But it might be on
No, I actually need to know the answer to that question.
Wait, hold on. Am I logged into my email?
Did you actually buy it?
Hold on, purchase history.
We got to get memorabilia for each season.
Yeah, I've decided that I'm just gonna like each season I'll just pick up. I have this.
We have the lightning bolt
I'll
can.
have the next Spielberg
I have a
article.
script.
We have the script. Yeah, it's very funny that one time my wife got upset with me when she realized that I have an eBay account, because she's like, eBay is just a place where people lose all their money buying like dumb old things. And I proved her wrong by buying a 20-year-old can of energy drink, a 20-year-old magazine, and like a 40-year-old movie script for a movie that's not that good.
Yeah.
I'll show you. So it's
Nice.
the next Spielberg. It says it'll be on it. It's not here in time for this
Dang.
episode, but I can
Will it
track
be
the
here in
package.
time for the wrap up?
Sick.
Good.
It should be. Yeah. It'll be here in like the next like
Awesome.
5
Nice.
days. So
That's really exciting. So we're gonna have to come back to that.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely come back to the wrap up, but there is something I do want to talk about today because I found it. So actually you can just, it turns out it's actually super easy. This article is just published online on their website. It's just under a different name. The cover says The Next Spielberg. The actual article is just titled Out of
Okay.
This World. So we'll put a link to this in the show notes. Like this does exist online. You don't have to go through Library Archives. You don't have to buy the copy on eBay. You can anymore because I bought it, but you don't have to buy the copy on eBay. But there was a lot relevant to this discussion, so I just wanted to try to, I know we're already at an hour and a half, but please indulge me. I'm so stoked. There were some revelations in this I need to
good.
go through.
Revelations in this 20-year-old Newsweek article.
Yes, you think I joke. But so in this article, this guy is interviewing. So it turns out we talked about the timing of when
Yeah.
this came out before. This came out like the week before Science was
Okay.
releasing. But it sounds like this interview happened. He describes they're sitting in the like room working on like the Foley and the sound effects
Okay.
for Science. So this interview happened during final post-production and then released right before the movie came out. So I do like this. At the time, M. Night Shyamalan was 28. I read that and I went, and like this was 3 movies into, or technically like 5 movies
Yeah.
into his career. And I was just like, okay, well, I feel good about my life. So let's see here. He wrote and directed The Sixth Sense. The movie, of course, had a spectacular twist ending and grossed nearly $700 million worldwide. So that one, I looked these up. It grossed $672.8 million on a $40 million budget,
That's
which is
pretty nuts.
crazy. That's great. That's pretty nuts. It does say Shyamalan's follow-up, The Somber Unbreakable, misfired at the box office. So they described it as misfired at the box office. Unbreakable made $248 million on a $75 million budget. So it's still, it makes its budget back, but rather than making like more than 12 times its budget, it made like 3 times its budget. So it's like one of those you have to contextualize, like $248 million on a $75 million budget. I think that's pretty good, but compared to 600 some million on a $40 million, like I get it. And then it says, but his latest offering Signs is a welcome return to form. And I did note that this one ended up making $408 million on a $72 million budget. So kind of like split the difference.
Still pretty good.
In this article, he never actually says like this guy's, my suspicions, my theory was correct. In this article, he doesn't necessarily say like he's going to be the next greatest guy ever on the scene. Here we get to the heart of it. He says, the scares in Signs call Hitchcock to mind, but Shyamalan is more akin to the young Spielberg in his careful rippling of the heartstrings, his deft touch with child actors, his fascinations with the middle-class American family, and his desperate desire to keep pleasing the same demographic over and over, people between the ages of 10 and 100. And I read that, and I'm like,
Yes.
Yes.
Hey.
like at the time you were writing this art, like people, so we've defended Shyamalan a lot. I'm not actually here to defend M. Night Shyamalan. I'm here to defend Jeff Giles, writer at Newsweek in the year 2002, because everybody
100%
posts the cover of this magazine clowning on you. But I read that and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nailed it.
This is like when you hear about the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit and then you read the story and actually this was like a sweet old lady and McDonald's was a giant evil like corporate monster that like ruined this woman's life, but they want you to laugh at haha she sued them because she spilled coffee. And you get the details and you're like, oh wait a minute, she was 100% correct. I can't believe I sided with, I just read the headline and sided with these morons. Let's see. And then also, Shyamalan is already Hollywood's highest paid screenwriter, and now he's attempting to turn his name into a brand, like Spielberg, so that on opening weekend, audiences will converge to see not a Mel Gibson or a Bruce Willis movie, but an M. Night Shyamalan movie with Gibson or Willis in it. Says March H. Glick, the director's lawyer and earliest supporter, where we're headed is Shyamalan will open the film.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happened.
You nailed it.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
Correct. You nailed it, my man. Okay, so that was the main thing, was that I had this theory, like, wait, I think this guy might actually be correct.
Hey, turns out
he was
correct.
I did like this. They talked to his mom, and M. Night Shyamalan's mom says she has not yet seen the movie Signs, but she says, I feel like he should make the nice movies. The latest things, sex and that sort of thing, I'm not for it, but it's for a different profession. He wouldn't turn around and tell me, Mom, you don't know how to deliver a baby. She's an obstetrician. We don't have control over what he's going to write, but I feel like it should be something nice which leaves a landmark on the people who see it. Maybe a little spirituality. That would be the greatest thing.
Yeah.
I read that and I said, hey, I got a movie this lady should go see. It's called Signs. Like, hey, got the perfect movie for you. A nice little thing that leaves a landmark, maybe a little spirituality.
Yeah. It's called The Sixth Sense.
That's exactly what he made. They complain here about Hollywood only making franchise pictures based on pre-existing concepts and characters. Which is
damn.
It's about to get way worse.
So he says in the scene in Signs where Mel Gibson tries to calm his kids down, he's telling these stories, and these are the stories of Shyamalan's own daughters being born, who were 5 and 2 at the time.
Aww.
He's such a girl dad. He won't be more of a girl dad until Trap, but such a girl dad. Okay, I did like this. So he jokes a little bit. Let's say I decided to do Pokemon 5. Would you come? He asks his producer. You wouldn't come? He turns to the film editor. If I did Pokemon 5, would you come? Come on, I could turn it into a metaphor for the human condition. I had to issue a correction there, M. Night Shyamalan, because you say in Pokemon 5 you could turn it into a metaphor for the human condition. Pokemon 1 did. The first Pokemon movie did that. Clearly, M. Night Shyamalan did not sit through that movie enough to get to the Mewtwo monologue at the end of the film. Okay, here's a decent chunk of notes. I'm going to try to get through
I'm just going to warn you right now. I'm probably going to cut out most of this.